Very pleased to be joined by the new general manager of the defending Pollock Division champion Mount Forest Patriots, Mr. Josh Kiel. Keeler, it's great to have you on. A familiar face to all of us here at CKNX Junior Hockey. We're excited to see you at the rink this year. How has the summer been? I'm sure it's been a little bit of a strange one for you.
Yeah, it's been a good summer. Obviously, helping build Mitchell's roster or majority of it, and then jumping over to Mount Forest and having to learn about a new organization and getting to know the players and stuff like that. It's been quite the transition, but the Mount Forest Patriots have welcomed me with open arms, and I can't be more excited to go into the season with the team we have on paper, and the organization is just outstanding organization. So I'm really happy to be a part of them.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting change for me too, because I'm used to doing this with Rob Nixon. I feel like Group's hiding from me or something. I'm gonna have to track him down at the arena sometime. I know
Uh,
he's not hiding from me,
no,
but
he certainly isn't. But I let him know that I was coming on here, and he was pretty excited for me. So.
there you go. That's good. Well, I'm glad he gave me an endorsement. All right, as an interviewer here, but we've done this before. You know
Yeah.
what the deal is. Yeah, obviously the Patriots, a run of success that we haven't seen in a while. I mean, we're talking about the defending champs currently, obviously 4-time champions in a span of 6 years, which could have easily been 5 if not for, of course, that nasty thing called COVID that canceled out that great series that was shaping up. So a really interesting spot for you to walk into, because the last 2 seasons you've been the general manager of the defending champion, which I'm sure is something that you want to remain used to. So tell me a little bit about that transition, coming from that great Mitchell program that had such an unbelievable year in 2022, achieving what they did, and now stepping into this Mount Forest franchise where I'm sure there's still quite a bit of pressure to repeat.
Yeah. So obviously, like that was a massive accomplishment, Mitchell, and I'm going to be very proud of that accomplishment all my life. And the Mitchell organization, they're a great organization, and couldn't ask for anything more from them. It's just tough to turn down an opportunity to go to an outstanding organization like the Mount Forest Patriots, and they've won 4 of the last 6 Pollock Division championships, like you said. Um, they're just one of the top franchises in all the PGHL. So I'm definitely excited for this opportunity, and I wish Mitchell all the best. And I hope they have a lot of years of success. Obviously, one of my best friends is running the Mitchell Hawks now, and I've taught him all the ropes. I've taught him as much as I possibly could. So I hope he has all this success over there. So.
Yeah, Mr. Bridge, of course, who we're very
Yeah.
familiar with up in this broadcast booth, and a great year for him in his first year at the helm of the Hawks, and I'm sure he'll continue to do well. The Patriots last year, I mean, what else is there to say? Another championship year, a lot of great players. There's going to be a lot of great returning players, but heading into this season, after finishing first in the division and finishing first in goal differential, goals for, as a matter of fact, the Patriots, the only 200 goal club in the division, and winning the goals category by 45 over the next closest competitor. Can we expect to see a similar type of output with this roster this year? Because we've watched a lot of high flying offensive wizards wear the Patriots jersey the last number of seasons, Josh.
Yeah, I certainly don't think we're going to have trouble scoring goals. That's not going to be an issue. Obviously, we have, Brody LeBlanc coming back. He's just a unique hockey player for this league, and he certainly, if he stays healthy for an entire season, he's going to put up some really good numbers. But we've got a really strong supporting cast around Brody. Like you got Jordan Leach there, who's I feel like I've only known him for a short period of time, but I feel like he's going to have a really good breakout season offensively. And then you got Will Lewis, who we acquired from Air. Now he brings a little bit different skill set. He's going to have more offensive opportunities with the Patriots than he did in Air. But he's going to be a really good two-way forward guy that we can rely on the PK and stuff like that as well. And then you know what, we picked up some good kids out of the Grey Bruce Highlanders program. You got Jackson Gow there and Matty McClellan offensively, and they're certainly going to put up some points as well. So very strong supporting cast, and we also have Matthew Weiler coming back as well, and we're looking to have a big season from him as well. It's going to be offensively. I don't think we're going to have any issues scoring goals. So
yeah, I mean, when you look at last year, you mentioned some of those returning guys, which I want to dig into more in just a second here. But, just to give everybody an idea of the offensive depth last year, 9 players with 20 or more points on the Patriots, 6 players with 30 or more, 3 players with 60 or more, headlined by your leading scorer last year, Elijah Brahani, who had 77 points and led the team in goals as well with 36. But Brody LeBlanc, I mean, yeah, you mentioned such a unique player with higher levels of experience. He only played 13 games last year in the regular season for this Patriots team. He had 31 points. Like, I mean, a 2.38 points per game. Those are numbers that we see a lot of talented players in this loop. You don't see numbers like that very often. Now, before we dig a little bit more into him and this great cast that's obviously returning, that you mentioned a few of them there, let's talk about some guys that will not be returning to the Patriots fold from that championship roster last year. Who are some guys throughout the lineup that you're going to miss, Josh?
So obviously Brahani's going to be a big guy. That's going to be a pretty big hole to fill. And like from what I've heard, like just his presence in the locker room and in the community and stuff like that, like he was just a phenomenal human being. So that's going to be a massive hole to fill. As of right now, Caleb Cribben, he's had some accumulating injuries, and as of right now, he's not going to start the season off with the Patriots, but we'd welcome him back if that changes at any point, or if he gets healthy type deal. So those are 2 big holes to fill for sure. And then, obviously our captain, Riley Torrey, now he's still with the team as my assistant GM, which is really nice. But that's going to be a big hole to fill on the point. But you know what? We've got a good returning decor, and they're going to have more experience. So hopefully they can fill that hole by committee.
Look at you training all these young GMs, eh?
Yeah, and then obviously another big one like Dylan Shimanowski, which I forgot, right? Like,
yeah. Well, he's going to play for the Cyclones. We're going to see him a lot this year, which will be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So I wish him all the best in Listowel, and I hope I don't see him back in this league again. He can continue to be a force at a higher level. So, but definitely will miss his offensive output for sure. But again, I think on paper we've got a very deep team and a good supporting cast, and I think that we can certainly have similar output as we did last year.
Obviously, we'll get to this later, but obviously, not coming back, your 2 goaltenders, Vance Meyer, of course, traded to the Walkerton Capitals, which I think is a cool trade for them. I mean, he's going to give them, a good backbone on a rebuilding team right away. And of course, Tristan Shimanowski, the OA goaltender, who played great in stretches where maybe Vance would struggle a little bit. Tristan would come in. Like, you had a 2-headed monster there last year in Mount Forest, and both of them played really well. They'll be missed, of course, but let's talk a bit more about the returning players. Obviously, we've already detailed some of the forwards coming back. I mean, I think you've got a really strong cast here as you go down the list. We really would love for Caleb Cribben, who I have to apologize to him. I called him Riley about 15 times last year. I mean, I kind of joked them, the Cribbens, they should put a plaque up for everything that family's done for the Patriot organization. But him and Riley, obviously special. We really hope that he can maybe potentially return and get healthy. He's such a fun player to watch. Tied for second in team scoring last year with 67 points. But you go down the list, Brody LeBlanc, what else can you really say about him? Leach, Weiler, you've got a really, really great returning core here. Who are some new faces? You mentioned a couple of them up front that you're really excited about, because, you know, you sign these guys out of minor hockey programs and there are a lot of good ones around here. Who's maybe an underrated name that, you know, you saw in camp that you thought, man, this kid maybe can make an impact right away?
That'd be Keegan Detweiler. We signed him out of Fergus. His older brother used to play for the Pats.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know what? He came out to camp, and the first night he skated with us, we were just like, we're not walking out of here without signing him. Then we get him into exhibition games, and the kid just keeps on doing exactly what we envisioned early on. Obviously, it's going to be a long season and stuff like that. You're going to have peaks and valleys with young kids, but he seems like a kid right off the bat that I think could turn into a pretty special hockey player in this league. You know, another kid we signed, this defenseman, Connor Wilmets, again from Fergus U18 program. Wasn't on our radar at all until later on in camp, and got him into an exhibition game against New Hamburg and just continually impressed us. So we actually signed him as our 8th defenseman because he pushed the envelope. So that's a really good signing. And then we got Aiden Doig's little brother, Devin Doig. We signed him as well. So we got a few brothers. We got them. We got Matthew Weiler's little brother, Joseph Weiler. We signed out of Grey Bruce Highlanders as well. As a defenseman, he's going to be a great addition. And then obviously I've touched on Jackson Gowell, and Matt McClellan out of the U18 program as well at Grey Bruce. So we're very excited about these young kids. So they've impressed us early on, and you know, it's just the feeling in the dressing room, because we were in a tournament in Alliston this past weekend, and the feeling in the dressing room reminds me of when the dressing room when we won 2 years ago in Mitchell, and just the boys are tight already. And you know what? We got a new coaching staff too, young coaching staff that's really going to help these young kids develop into better hockey players. So we're excited.
Just in terms of the D-core last year, obviously Austin Griffin led the team in scoring from the back end with 32 points. You look down the list, obviously you're going to miss Riley Torrey. Charlie McKenzie had a really solid season. Aaron McGurk. Are any of those guys going to be able to return?
Yeah, we've got everybody you just said there. Griff's going to return. Obviously, Charlie McKenzie's returning, and McGurk's returning as well. And then we got Doiger returning on the back end as well. We also have Cam Boysen returning on the back end. And then obviously Joseph Weiler and Connor Wilmets will round out that group. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. No, we're good.
No, that's perfect. And again, I'm not surprised. You know, Mount Forest has made a habit of, you know, returning players and making sure there's always a good core around to pass on the culture of winning, frankly, that's been established in the room to the young guys. Sounds like you got some exciting young players as well. On that note, obviously I mentioned both your goaltenders from last year moving on. You've got an exciting young goalie that you've signed that's going to be part of the fold, a 17-year-old kid that I'm sure everybody's excited about.
Yeah, we got Nolan Brown is his name, from Durham, and he comes out of the he played in Hanover U18 last year, and then affiliated for the Grey Bruce Highlanders. And yeah, we're really excited for him to come on board. Obviously, with the young goaltender, there's going to be some, some growing pains. But, this is the type of kid that we think that we could coach, develop into a really, really strong goaltender pretty much immediately into the future. So we're really excited to have him.
Now, of course, teams need 2 goalies. And at the time of recording this, there's things in the works. Okay. So folks, when something changes after you read this article, don't get angry with me that I didn't have the scoop for you. Okay. And typical, you can call Josh, typical GM, working the phones right up to the last minute. Okay. So when the news eventually breaks on another goalie in Patriot land, do not complain to me. It's the general manager who's always working those phones. It's Josh Kiel's fault, ladies and gentlemen. It's not me. All right. Don't question my journalistic integrity. All right. No, in all seriousness, though, Josh, I mean, you've been involved in this league for a while now and have had a lot of success as, I would certainly call you a younger GM yourself. I mean, you're certainly not old by any means.
No.
What's it meant to you to be part of, so much winning and really just to be a part of the league, because it's a great league and I don't know that it gets enough credit.
Well, see, the biggest thing, this league, especially our division, is very competitive year in and year out. And I got to give props to, every upper level management staff in every organization, because every year they try to build a team to be competitive, and any single year someone can win the Pollock Division. You know what, I've been fortunate enough in Mitchell to have the success that I've had there, and then obviously walking into this Mount Forest team that's definitely on paper in line to defend our title. And anything can happen in hockey, but it is a special feeling. This league is absolutely phenomenal. Even playing these other teams and other divisions this past weekend in Alliston, like there's good hockey across the province, and it's only going to get better and better and better. And I'm excited to see this through for many years and see what this league can really become. And because it's getting better for sure.
It certainly is. And I mean, for us on the broadcasting side, we appreciate people like you and everybody that we deal with in this division for being so easy to work with. It's a pleasure to cover your team. And, for us, it's the people that really make it go round. And we really appreciate it, man. So thank you for doing this. I'm excited to see you at the rink and maybe get into a tangle with you at the local squash court. We'll see. We're both going to be pretty busy the next couple months, but yeah. I'm excited to run into you at the rink, and best of luck in your first year in Mount Forest, my friend. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate everything. You have yourself a great day.